Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel, back on a card by Vanguard, as in the Vanity weekly video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's go to the This time we are covering some more reveals from set 12. We have the new Alma Grizzel line. If I said that right at all, I'm going to be proud of myself because I've struggled to say it all weekend. And we have a new Magnolia. Of course, at the time of recording this half of the video, I have no idea what the new Magnolia will be, whether it's a Masques or a new Magnolia in general. Personally, I am on team it's not a Masques, but I mean, I won't know until tomorrow, or technically when this video goes up. So, yeah, let's see how this goes, and let's see if my prediction's right. I truly believe that it's not a Masques. If it is a Masques, I'm boycotting. Well, maybe. Anyways, let's go ahead and start off our reveals. First, we have Whip Dragon Whippersaurus. They really couldn't help themselves with that one, could they? Great Omen boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto when placed on rearguard circle. If your Vanguard's grade is greater than your opponent, you may solo charge 2. Okay, that's nice because I do admit that, okay, this doesn't necessarily specify that it has to be for Dragon Tree, but to be fair, no one's going to run this in Varina, or at least no one in my opinion will run this in Varina, and the only deck I could see this being used for is Dragon Tree that consistently has a higher grade than your opponent's. And honestly, it makes sense, like, because Backtal, I believe, is the only Dragon Tree grade 1 that doesn't involve a counterblast, instead involves a soul blast. So, you know, Whippersaurus being able to basically not only cut the cost to 0, but also increase your soul by 1 as well is all around pretty solid. So, nice possible 2 over 3 of Tekken, Griffogila Dragon Empire, Then we have Intense Rage Dragon, grade 3 to 9%, 13k base, continues rearguard if your Vanguard has 2 or more arms, or you have rearguard with 2 or more original dresses. This unit gets plus 10k power, active on both players' turns. Okay, this is just also because I can and I will interject my opinion about the anime into this. I really hope Mirai uses the cards that, like, fix with both overdress and just the arms thing, and then she has a deck that's a hybrid of both that somehow works consistently. I would love to see that. I know it's not going to happen, but if it does, yeah, let's go. Either way, though, it's not a bad skill. It's a 23k swing as long as you have, or 23k base as long as you have either 2 or more original dresses or 2 or more arms, except this does nothing in Virina because implying that you have 2 or more original dresses, unless you're playing crossover dress, that means your front row is filled with much better units. And as for the arms, arms have more than enough support, but still a good swinger, so nice to have. Then we have Derm's Emitter Dragon. Grade 3 to 9%, 13k base, auto rearguard once per turn. When your other unit is placed on your rearguard from your deck by counterblasting 1, choose a rearguard and return it to the hand. All around, very good skill, because if you call something from deck, you can just immediately bounce it. Say it was a PG or trigger. Is just a nice skill. Granted, the cost of CB, so it's not the greatest, but I mean, hey, it's still a very solid grade 3, so possible 2 of. Now, the only way this could be better is if we found a way to call this while you were on Fort, so we could, bounce it. Speaking of which, also later this week on Thursday, we're getting new Bastion, which a lot of people are asking for the new ride line, and I would prefer not to get a new ride line. And for anyone that comes after me because of simply the Fort skill, you're telling this to the guy who literally not mains Bastion, but plays Bastion enough to understand the pain and is still saying the ride line is fine. Nothing you say can turn my mind on that point. Then we have Knight of Fierceness Angus, Angus, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base, auto rearguard when this unit attacks Vanguard. If the number of your rearguards is greater than your opponent's by 2 or more, this unit gives 10k power, ton of battle. That is the first time in a while I've seen a skill like that requires you to have a specific number of more than your opponent does, or less. Either way, very okay-ish skill. Like, granted, it involves you basically board nuking your opponent or just board spamming out of your opponent, but I mean, it's a 20k swing, so there's that, and it does it for free. There's not much more I can say about it. Love the art, don't like the skill too much, but do what you can. 1 of 2 of tech, possibly. Then we have the final Quintuplets line. Thank God so I can stop saying this word. And that is the Stoic KO line. After the school festival, Itsuki Nakano. Okay, I guarantee you they cannot top last week's Keto Sanctuary of instant win con. But standard skills per usual. Auto when wrote upon when placed upon quintessential quintuplets. Gain the memories of quintuplets crest. Search your deck for a grade 1 and then place it into the memory. And then contains guard circle. If you have 3 more different quintuplets in your memory, it gets plus 5k shield and 8k base with a 5k shield base as well. Then we have the grade 2 Glutton Itsuki Nanako. That is a meme waiting to happen. Grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base. The standard auto when placed by a grade 1. Look at the top 7. Shield to 1 quintuplets from Munlin. Place it to the memory shuffle. And then auto rearguard once per turn. When your quintuplets Vanguard attacks, it gets plus 5k power for the turn. And then if your memory has 5 more different quintuplets, it gets plus 10k instead of 5. Okay, I think I think the grade 2 skills have always been slightly different. Like, they always give the same amount of power, but I think the way to get them is always slightly different. But then, like, the grade 1s are always the exact same for some arbitrary reason, which is annoying to me. Then we have Quintessential Quintuplets, Itsuki Nanako, grade 3, 10% 30k base. Okay, Nakano. I don't know why I go Nanako, not Nakano. Auto when placed on Vanguard, the standard look at top 7 to do quintuplets from one, reveal them to your opponent, put one into the hand, place the other into the memory, and shuffle the deck. And then continues Vanguard during turn. If your memory has 6 or more different name quintuplet, all your firmware quintuplet rear guards get plus 2k for each card in your drop zone. Cool. And then auto vanguard once per turn. At the end battle of this unit attack, combos 1 to stand in this unit, and it loses 2 drives for the turn. Okay, so while she doesn't get the power up from the skill, which makes sense, she turns everything in the front row into a fucking skull dragon. You know, that one grade 3 from Grand Blue that gets continuous plus 2k during your turn for every card in your drop zone? Yeah, so she turns the entire front row into, all the rear guards in the front row into those fuckers the second you hit 6 or more. I personally now believe that Keter and this thing are going to be the best decks, or to be more exact, this one, and then Keter might be just because it has a Widcon, but yeah. Cool. Everything becomes a Skull Dragon. Great to have, buddy. Zorgon has a run for its money in mill deck power. Then we have Memories of the School Festival, Itsuki Nakano, grade 3 normal order quintuplets. You may play this card if you have Vanguard quintessential quintuplets, Itsuki Nakano. To 2 quintuplets from the same name from your drop, put one to the bottom, put the other into the memory. If you chose one or more, perform the following based on the number of different name quintuplets in your memory. 3 or more, draw a card, 5 or more, counter charge, 7 or more, choose one of your Vanguards and gets a drive for the turn. Cool, so now you have technically quad drive because it has triple drive for the first attack, and then when it restands, it'll still have the last drive check, so technically quad drive. All around, pretty solid. I mean, it doesn't do that much for the deck. I mean, honestly, if they wanted to make this a little bit better, they could have just not given it this skill at all, and then just in place of it, allow you to pick any 3 quintuplets from the drop zone and then yeet them either into the memory or back into deck. So, and then give you a benefit if you sent 3 different named quintuplets, because great God, this thing gets so much power out of it. So, yeah, still a solid order, but it really could have done something better. I don't know why they keep just copy and pasting the order, but I guess they just don't care anymore, so 2 over 3 of. Then we have Unfamiliar Tone, Itsuki Nakano. Again, I say, meme waiting to happen. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when placed on rear guard during main phase. If you have a Vanguard quintuplets in its card name, look at top 3. Choose up to 1 quintuplets from on them, put it to memory, shuffle the deck. And then continues rear guard. If you have 3 more different named quintuplets in your memory, it gets plus 2k power. All around, like, it's okay. It's literally the same in grade 1 every single quintuplet I've been getting. Again, I say, I wish they weren't just copying and pasting the skills, but fair enough. Take that as you will. Then we have Light Love Pattern Itsuki Nakano. I have not read this card at all except for seeing like the power thing. I really hope it has some way to restand just to abuse the hell out of this skill more. Auto rear guard, I saw the word stand. When your potential quintuplets Itsuki Nakano on your Vanguard stand by your card's abilities, counterboss 1 and put a quintuplets from your drops on the bottom. Choose one of your quintuplet units gets plus 10k power for the turn, and then if your memory is 5 or more different named quintuplets, you may draw a card. Well, worth the try. Doesn't have a stand ability, sadly, but I mean, to be fair, at least it ups the power of your Vanguard who doesn't get buffed up by the broken skill, so I mean, take that as you will. It's not amazing. It's not bad. It's just not amazing either. It's like that tier right above good, I guess, so I don't know, 4 of, I guess, simply because you have to. Then we have our last Treasure Beast, and that is Green Treasure Beast Almedia. That's probably the only one I've actually considered running in one of my decks, or at least came close to running in one of my decks. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto when placed on rear guard or put on the guard circle, put 2 cards total from your solar drop zone that were in the ride deck before and place them back into your ride deck face up. Perform either of the following according to the circles this unit is on. Rear guard, soul charge 2, and choose one of your units that gets plus 5k power for the turn, and then guard circle standard gets plus 15k shield. All around, not bad. You soul blast out the ride line and at least get you the 2 soul back and someone gets 5k out of it, or it's a 20k shield. Either way, it's not a horrible grade 1, and it also is so cute. I wish it was a Sylvan Beast. I'm not kidding with you. If this was a Sylvan Beast, without question, I would have shoved this into my Magnolia deck at a 4. I am being dead serious. If this was a Sylvan Beast, I would have actively done that just because it looks so cute and it fits the theme. 2 of, I guess, if you choose to run this. Again, I say, if they, for some reason, change the name in translation, which I kind of hope they do, I will run this in Magnolia at 4 without question. Yeah, that's my response to that. Then we have Orderly Maiden Yolanda, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard. When this unit boosts, retire 2 of your other grade 1 less rear guards to draw a card, and she gets plus 10k power for the battle. Okay, not horrible. She's an 18k booster that can get you a draw. I don't know why she doesn't say on attack. I really don't know why she doesn't say on attack, but it's on boost. But cool, you just kill your grade 1s and you get the draw. Works okay-ish in Grand Fia. I played this more in Leonore, and it works when it wants to say the least. So, Yolanda is not a horrible grade 1, not the greatest grade 1 in the world, but not a horrible grade 1 either, so 3 of, I guess. Also gets rid of, like, if your opponent, like, negatively affects your rear guards, like, maybe they paralyze them, if you somehow play in Premium, she's really good there. Then we have Requiem Fairy. Yes, one of my favorite words and used on a card that I will never use in my life. Thanks a lot for that one, Bushy. Grade 2 units of 5k shield, 10k base, auto when placed on rear guard circle from your drop zone during your turn. Choose one of your units and gets 5k power for the turn. Okay, cool. It benefits you from calling it from the drop zone, but that's literally all it does. I don't know why they had to specify it has to be specifically from drop. I mean, granted, Zorga can take advantage of this, but Zorga has so much better targets, and same with Leonore, and same with, like, any other deck that can call from drop. Like, if it was on place from anywhere, this would warrant a 2 of tech, but I mean, kind of no, really. Then we have Rastine Part Dragon, grade 2 set 5k shield, 10k base, a card I was going to run in my Leonore set 12 deck, but no, Rastine Part Dragon decided he was going to be a goddamn promo, meaning I'm not allowed to run it because of my own moral standing. Thank you for that one, Bushy. Continuous rear guard during your turn. If you have 2 or more grade 1 less rear guards, it gets boosted in 5k power, which all around is very good, so all you have to do is just make like a third of your board grade 1s and automatically hits the target for Leonore's skill, and then auto rear guard once per turn. When this unit stands by the ability of your Vanguard, Grefia, or Leonore's card name, if the Vanguard is 33 power or greater, Soul Boss 1 to draw a card, and this unit gives us 5k power for the turn. All around pretty solid, and I have to look up the rulings on Leonore with this, or not necessarily the rulings, but the text on Leonore, and to my understanding how it works is, because Leonore stands at the end of the battle, while it's still technically being boosted, so the power is still there, it'll still count this. Someone tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Either way, though, pretty solid skill nonetheless. 15k base if you have 2 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, and then a possible 20k once it restands. Like, pretty solid grade 2. Works really well with Leonore. Works okay with Grand Fia. Again, I say I wish this wasn't a promo, so I could have actively thrown this into my Leonore deck the second I got the chance. But no, screw me then. So when this comes out in English, I know who I'm looking for. Hopefully by then it won't be outdated. So take that as you will. Nice 3 over 4 of. Then we have some Flagberg cards. I honestly forgot Flagberg was a deck. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, Wave Crest, Brave Shooter. One of my favorite names of all times, and the card, on this card I'm only running simply just to have a different card in Flagberg. Cool. Auto when placed on rear guard circle, counterpart is willing the top 7 cards of your deck to 1 Ascendance Assault card or Flagberg with its card with Flagberg and its card name from among them. Reveal it, put it to the hand, and shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, countercharge 1. A card with Flagberg in its card name? To my knowledge, there's only one card with Flagberg in its card name, and that's Flagship Dragon Flagberg Dragon. Uh-huh. Huh, that's, that's not foreshadowing, I've ever seen it. And then auto rear guard, at the end of the battle, this unit boost. If it's the 4th battle of the turn or more, you may put this unit to soul. Okay, not the greatest skill, because we could have had more benefits out of it, like maybe draws or something, especially because the deck doesn't really have a soul problem anymore, at least when I play it, it doesn't. But, I mean, cool, being able to go to soul for those of you that do have a soul problem. Nice to have. I wish there was a different benefit, like maybe a draw or another CC, but honestly, it still works the way it does, so 3 of, I guess, and I will be expecting this in the near future. Then we have Ballistic Dragon, grade 2 set 5k shield, 10k base, continues guard circle during the 4th battle of this turn or more. If your Vanguard has Flagberg and its card name, gets plus 10k shield. Anyone else think this, like, reminds them of, like, Iceberg Dragon, Ice Flow Dragon, the G-Guard from Aquaforce that was, like, wave 1 or 4 or greater, it gets the 10k shield? Yeah, this basically reminds me of that, except a little bit more restricted. So, I mean, still, though, it's a solid grade 2, but I do wish it was like that, where it was the 1st battle, the 4th battle, and then the battles after, but, I mean, take that as you will. Though a lot of decks have the ability to multi-attack, so not like this is a bad thing, so possible 2 of tech, honestly. And then we have Evil Eye Dragon Emperor, Ominagruzio Masques. I know it's pronounced mask. I don't care. We all know I'm going to say it wrong on purpose. Grade 3 turn percent 13k base. Continuous. This unit can only be written by a grade 3 with Ominagruzio in its card name. Act Vanguard Circle. Once per turn, move a card with Ominagruzio in its different card name from this unit from your hand, soul, or drop zone. Choose up to one trigger unit from your drop, bind it, and this unit gets continuous Vanguard. All your opponent's cards with the same trigger icon as any of the cards in your bind zone lose 5k shield, and they cannot increase power from those trigger effects until end of turn. Okay, so for those of you wondering, to my understanding of this, yes, it does affect the over triggers, but it doesn't nullify like their drive check ability. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on this, but from the understanding that I have gotten from what I've read and seen from other people, that it is essentially, like, say for example, you pull the Dark States over, and the opponent has the Dark States over in the bind zone, or you have the Dark States over in the bind zone, and they pull the Dark States over. It nullifies the 1 million, but it doesn't nullify the 10k and a critical if they drove check it. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Either way, though, being able to essentially fuck over triggers is great. It nullifies the 5k shield, but now you always want to run those. I mean, granted, you want to run the extra 5k shield ones anyways if you run anything that can gain the 5k shield, but still, being able to nullify those boosts is nice, and being able to nullify the trigger boost is nice. It's like a combination of Valios and what was the Chrono Tiger Rebellion? Whoever said that on YouTube, congrats to you, because I remember I was thinking of that, but I couldn't think of like the other one. So all around, pretty solid skill. And then Auto Vanguard once per turn. This is the thing that ruins it for me. At the end of the battle, this unit attack combos 1, put 2 back or rear guards to soul stand. This unit lose a drive for the turn. For those of you that don't remember, like, a few months ago, I ranted. So, well, I didn't rant, but I would, like, consistently make it a clear thing that I hated that everything in D basically either has a restand skill or a extra critical skill, because it just makes everything so boring and stale. Mainly more the restanding skill than the critical thing. And my god, this ruined it for me. I thought this thing was so cool until they revealed this effect. This thing ruined the entire card for me, because we now have another restander in the game. Can we stop getting restanders? I don't care if they're good, or like if we just have to give them an ability, just don't make it a restand ability. It starts to get boring after a while. I mean, either way, it's a solid card though, but I really wish they didn't give it the skill, but I mean, it's too late now, but this skill at least makes up for it, so solid 4 of. Then we have some nice support cards for Orpheus Masques, or just Draco Tree and Brankin in general. Gold, Bear Test, the first one, grade 10 set 5k shield, 10k base, auto and placed on rear guard from the hand. If you have 3 more Draco Tree markers on your rear guard, so counter boss monster deck for 1 set order, reveal it, put it to hand, shuffle your deck. All around works really well with just Draco Tree, Brankin in general, like, just get the 3 Draco Tree markers, boom, free search of any set order whatsoever. I don't need to argue this at all. It works really well with the grade 1 from Dragon Tree that just gets the marker and then also gets the top 5 search. So all 3 of. Then we have Psycho Transformation Polyalot, grade 10 set 5k shield, 10k base, continuous rear guard circle if your Vanguard's Cardinal Orpheus Masques. It gets plus 5k power and 5k shield. Of course, Orpheus got one of these. Why wouldn't Orpheus get one of these? It's not a horrible skill. It's not a great skill either, so take that as you will. Possible 2 of, but honestly, the deck has space issues, so I wouldn't put it past it. And then, of course, we have Mighty Fist Dragon, Ellenborg Dragon. So we have a grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base here, who looks like he just belongs in Stoicheia. And that's continuous rear guard. If you have a set, if a set order was placed into your drop zone from the order zone this turn, it gets with 5k power. So it works well with Orpheus, but it also works well with Gravidius, so that's all around pretty solid. And it kind of works well with the what's it called? I'm trying to remember its name. Wellstar Rideline too, because they actually get the orders from or they send orders to drop zone if you don't remember. So all around pretty solid skills nonetheless, but probably not going to warrant more than a possible 1-up deck. Next up, we have Stealth Dragon Fu Titan, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto rear guard at the end of your turn. If this unit is on a rear guard, circle the Draco Tree marker on it, you can retire this unit, choose an opponent's rear guard, and kill it. Okay, not the greatest, because it's like an end of turn ability, so I mean, it's nice in the sense that anything that you want it to kill that survives for the rest of the turn, you can immediately just bop at the end of it, and your opponent won't know the wiser, especially if their board is more or less full, so you can get rid of the problems without them getting rid of it. But at the same time, it's also like, I wish it wasn't at the end of the turn. It also has to be specifically on the Draco Tree marker, but you can't get everything in the card, and it's still all run pretty solid, so a possible 2 of in a Draco Tree Dragon Empire deck. And now we move on to our last cards of the day, and boy do we got a lot of them. First up we have Evil Eye Beast Almana Kitty, grade 2 boost 5k shield, 6k base, auto roll pipe 1 second draw card, standard star just reveals the Omina line and their weird fucking eyes, but I'll say those eyes are cool to me.
Then we have Evil Eye Beast Amana Krog, Great on Boost by Kashioda K base, act Vanguard Circle once per turn by Soul Blasting 1. You can look at the top 5 cards of your deck and choose up to 1 grade 3 or greater from amongst them with Ominagruzio on its card name. Reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. And if you do not reveal a card, Soul Charge 2. All around pretty solid because you're either getting a Persona right for the grade 3 later on, you're either getting the Masques, or you are just straight up getting a Soul Charge 2 out of it and basically nullifying the cost. Either way, Amana Krog is a very solid grade 1, and I like the skill and I think he's pretty nice. Too bad he doesn't have a rear guard skill, but I'll take the Vanguard skill, so 1 of. Then we have Evil Eye Beast Amana Owls, grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base. Auto when placed by writing from an Evil Eye Beast Amana Krog. Search after 1 trigger unit, put it to your soul and shuffle your deck. If you put a card into your soul, you draw a card. All around very nice skill because it's a freebie trigger from your deck. It doesn't matter what it is into the soul, and you get a draw. And the best part is, for those of you that hate the over so much, you can literally just use this to get the over out of the way so your opponent can't touch you with it. All around on the Owls is a very solid grade 2. It can basically set you up for the rest of the games. Once you know what deck your opponent's playing, you can pretty much pick their most effective trigger and then shut it down for the rest of the game from there, or from the following turn onwards. So Amana Owls, very solid grade 2, very nice one of in the ride deck, and this one gets the 2 so not to have a rear guard skill. Then we have the main grade 3 Evil Eye Dragon Ominagruzio, grade 3 champ personal 13k base. Auto when placed on Vanguard Circle to the top 5 of your deck, you have to 1 card with Ominagruzio in its card name or 1 Mask of Hydro Gun, reveal it, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck, and then act Vanguard Circle once per turn by Soul Blasting 1. You have to 1 trigger unit from your drop zone, bind it until end of turn. Your opponent cannot increase power with the trigger effects of those cards with the same trigger icon as the card sent to the bind zone. All around, it's not bad because, you know, if you have 5 different triggers in bind zone, your opponent can't use those triggers to increase their power. But at the same time, it's like, I hate that this thing just feels like it's built specifically for the Masques, because that is technically what it is. Like, its first skill, to be fair, searching a Persona right isn't that crazy, and being able to specifically search out Mask of Hydro Gun, again, is like, eh. And then also this ability, which is just strengthened by the Masques, it just feels weird that this grade 3 feels like it just exists just to support the Masques, which again is fine, but it's like, it's just boring to me, though I will say because the Masques has a restanding skill, I do actually like this one more than I like the Masques for the simple fact its skill feels actually unique to it rather than has the same restand skill, so take that as you will, still 4 of. Then we have Misery Ring Dragon, grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base, boss art, contains rear guard. During your turn, this unit gives 5k power for each type of trigger icon in your bind zone. So that's a possible free plus fucking 40. And then auto, wait, no, not 40, sorry, 25. Auto, when placed on rearguard circle, if you have 2 or more different trigger types in your bind zone, Soul Blast 2, draw a card. All around pretty solid. It can fetch triggers in a drop zone for both Ominagruzios. It can get a draw, and it's an instant at least plus 10 if you're going second. So all around Misery Ring Dragon, very solid grade 2. Only gets stronger as the game goes on. It has a very solid on place ability, 4 of. Then we have Ruin Collector, grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base. Auto, when it's placed on rearguard circle, you may soul charge 1, and then get to use rearguard. When this unit will be put into your soul for the cost of the ability of Ominagruzio on its card name, it may be regarded as putting 2 units. Okay, very solid. You know, it's not a mandatory soul charge, but it's a may soul charge if you want to, and it literally is the entire restand cost for this motherfucker. So, all around, it's a very solid grade 1. It does its job well. Again, I wish it didn't feel like these cards were better support for the actual Masques version than the original Ominagruzio itself, but we never got an original Ominagruzio, so I guess it makes sense, but to me it just feels boring. So either way though, very solid grade 1, and I'm definitely giving it a 4 of in that regard for the deck. Then we have this one, Sylvanhorn Beast King Calamity Magnolia Masques. Okay, that's an amazing name. I'm disappointed it's a Masques, but it does look fucking beautiful. It looks like Salamence from Pokemon, but and the name is, like I said, fucking amazing, but man, I am so upset it's a Masques. I feel bad for my boy that said it wasn't going to be a Masques because I actually believed him. Anyways, grade 3 turn percent 13k base, continuous. It can only be rated from a grade 3 of Magnolia's card name, but it doesn't prevent you from riding to Elder. It then continues Vanguard. During your turn, all your rear guards on rear guard circles with geometry markers on them can attack from back row and they get plus 10. Okay, so the difference is Elder has more I'm going to compare this to Elder and not regular Magnolia. It doesn't have the defense that Elder has. If you don't remember, Elder allows you to intercept, and it gives technically less power because Elder gives 5k to everything. However, any circle that has a Draco Tree marker on it, whether it's front row or back row, can attack from back row and still gets 10,000 power on top of it, which is still nice. And then active Vanguard Circle once per turn, move a Magnolia in a different card name from your hand, soul, or drop zone, and this unit gets auto van. When your rearguard attacks a Vanguard from the back row, choose a opponent's rearguard and murder it till end of turn. So Magnolia now has a way to nuke 3 free rearguards. Cool. That's cool. Literally 3 free rearguards can just get murked from this thing skill. All around, this is a very good card. Like, I'm upset that we got a Masques, but I'm glad that this is what we got out of it, because it's like Elder, like I said before, but it's more aggressive. Elder has that defense and consistency because the 5k lasts during both players' turns, and they can intercept from back row, but this one has like, okay, so we're going to give 10k to everything that has a specific marker on it, and then on top of that, anytime something swings from back row, it can kill something, and because it's not a once per turn ability, meaning if you find a way to restand your back or rear guards, it's just going to keep retiring shit. So when they start giving us back row restanders, Magnolia is going to start hitting like a fucking tank. All around, very solid grade 3, kills rear guards, gets numbers, actually feels like it has a Masques design compared to Greedon Masques. I don't know why, I just feel like it's just Greedon with a mask. But you know, we have our like darkened claws that he always has, and his wings look fucking boss. I say, I'm disappointed to Masques, but with this name and this art, I don't give two shits, and this skill makes up for it. And then our last card of the day is Forced Glow Dragon, grade 2 SF 5k shield, 10k base, auto when placed on rearguard circle other than during the battle phase. If your Vanguard, Sylvanhorn, Beast King, Magnolia Masques, Boss won't choose a grade 3 less card from your drops on up to the same number of geometry markers on your rearguard circle called a rearguard circle. So if you're playing against a nuke deck, suddenly this mofo can bring back your entire board if you have enough geometry markers, which is amazing, and it's fair that they locked this out of the battle phase, because otherwise that'd be a full board restand and Magnolia Masques nuke 6. And then auto rear guard, when this unit attacks, choose one of your Vanguard Magnolia's card name gets plus 5k power. All around, very good. Definitely a restand target. Something tells me if we get another good double rare for this set, it might be a restand or rear guards, and ho ho ho, look who would abuse that. But then also, again, being able to get back rear guards against a nuke deck for a simple cost of CB1, man, that's pretty good. All around, Force Glow Dragon's a very solid support card. If it had Sylvanhorn Beast in its name, I would actually run this at a solid 4, but it doesn't, so I'm not going to run this at all. I know I'm stupid for that, but that's how I go. So either way though, that's the end of this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. In the next one, we will have New Bastion, and we will have something else too. I don't know what it is yet, because I didn't really check the end of the stream. So I'll see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join Square Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to send up your Vanguards.